That night at the store, everything seemed normal, or as normal as it can be when working until dawn, preparing for the seasonal inventory switch. It was the night we'd be changing from summer items to Halloween merchandise. The boxes arrived around 10, filled with costumes, skulls, masks, and plastic pumpkins. My coworkers and I were responsible for opening, sorting, and placing each item in its place. Among the packages, we noticed one particular box, smaller than the others and without the store's logo. I thought someone had brought it by mistake, but when we opened it, we all took a step back. Inside was a single object, a ceramic elf. It was small, about 12 inches tall, but the expression on its face was unsettling. Its eyes were too large and dark, as if they held something deeper, something alive. It wore a tattered cloak, and its twisted smile seemed to mock us. We found it strange that it was the only one, while the other items had arrived in large quantities, and to top it off, it wasn't listed on the inventory sheets. One of the guys suggested putting it on a display shelf while we decided what to do with it. So, we left it on a shelf at the back of the store and continued unloading. The atmosphere felt gloomy, and soon we sensed a strange presence in the place, as if someone were watching us. While we arranged the skulls and costumes, a disturbing sound caught our attention, a soft laugh, like a small child's. We thought maybe one of the electronic items had turned on accidentally. We checked the toys, masks, and decorations, but all of them were off and without batteries. I tried to shake off my nerves, but the laughter continued, moving along the aisles. It was a high-pitched, chilling sound, as if someone were watching us, laughing at our puzzled faces. We decided to ignore it and continue working. But when we went to prepare a shelf for the skulls, the elf was no longer where we had left it. At first, we thought someone had moved it, maybe by mistake, but none of us admitted to touching it. We exchanged confused glances, and at that moment, the store phone rang. It was our supervisor. He asked how everything was going, and we said it was fine, although we mentioned the strange elf that had come in a box alone and was now lost. There was a moment of silence before the supervisor responded. He said there wasn't any elf in the order. According to him, all items came in sets of 10 or more. The elf must have been an error. A chill ran down my spine as I hung up the phone. We decided to look for it, though none of us wanted to admit that we were afraid. As we checked the shelves and opened boxes, one of my coworkers gasped and pointed to the back of the store. Between the shadows and behind a plastic skeleton, something moved. It was a small, hunched figure, almost crouched. Its eyes, those dark, empty eyes, seemed to be fixed on us. But before we could approach, the figure quickly slid behind some plastic skulls. It was the elf, but it no longer looked like a simple inanimate object. Barely processing what we'd seen, we began to hear a noise down one of the aisles. One by one, the plastic pumpkins we had placed at the end of the aisle fell to the ground as if someone was pushing them. The 5 of us cautiously approached, not understanding what was happening. When we reached the aisle, we saw it. There it was, moving with quick, clumsy steps, pushing the pumpkins and giving us a mocking look. Fear was starting to take hold of us. We tried to catch it, but every time we got closer, the elf slipped away, running to a dark corner or disappearing behind the decorations. In the distance, on another shelf, it started throwing small plastic eyes at us, one after another, like a mischievous child throwing stones. The eyes rolled across the floor, and in the silence of the store, the sound they made against the floor grew more disturbing with each roll. With each minute, the atmosphere became more sinister. One of the ceiling lights began to flicker, casting strange shadows on the walls, and the elf disappeared into the shadows. For a few seconds, everything was silent, but then we heard that laughter again, now louder, echoing through every corner of the store. It was as if it was playing with us, as if it wanted to scare us, like a child who doesn't know when enough is enough. After a while of enduring its mischief, the laughter faded, and with it, the elf. Despite checking every corner of the store, we couldn't find it. It was clear this wasn't just a simple decoration. We decided not to mention it further to the supervisor, but from that night on, the security guards began reporting strange incidents. Some claimed to have seen a small figure moving among the shadows, others heard laughter, or found the skulls and pumpkins out of place. Over time, they started to believe that the elf had made the mall its home, and even now, every Halloween season, it seems to return to play and scare anyone who dares to work at night.